So today, a damning audit came out on Measure 110. What is Measure 110? Measure 110 decriminalized drugs in 2020. And it wasn't until early 2024 did we recriminalize drugs. In those 4 years, it led to the largest spike of overdoses and deaths in state history. So something that was found in the audit was $800 million was found, but they couldn't determine what the outcomes were of the $800 million spent. Also, money was set aside for a crisis line, which was almost not used whatsoever. But when it was used, it cost $7,000 per call. Again, $7,000 per call.
So the thing that stuck out to me the most about this report was no metrics, no tracking any data, no KPI, no key performance indicators, nothing. If we can't measure something, how can we manage it?
Now watch this following video. She's the executive director of Measure 110 at the Oregon Health Authority.
There is not a body of data that could serve at a baseline to help compare and contrast where we were before Measure 110 and where we are today, about 5 years later. So there was something called the COVID-19 global pandemic, and that absolutely changed the landscape for basically the entire world in every discipline, but particularly what was happening in the behavioral health system.
So what you just heard, which she basically admits, is they had no way to measure this. They did not have enough data, and also that somehow COVID was one of the reasons why they weren't successful.
I mean, I think about it at my work. I have a pretty low-level job, but if my boss does a site visit, he says, "John, what's going on? How are things going?" I can pull up some reports to show him what's going on. So I would never, if my boss came to visit, I could never be like, "Well, I don't know."
Yeah, and the difference too is your job is not life or death. Measure 110 really is.
Yeah.
So you would think at the very least that would be one where they believe strongly in metrics to find out what's working and what's not. So in the last part of the audit were the suggestions. They want clear accountability. They want measurable results. They want public reporting, right? They want metrics, because metrics will track what's working and what's not.
Yeah, I see a lot of similarities in decriminalizing drugs and the homelessness plan. At least with the homelessness plan, there seems to be a little bit of a strategy, opening up the shelter beds first and having some capacity. But with the, Measure 110, I actually would be in